Yes, hello, welcome to the channel folks, and it is more G.I. Joe Classified here at MoDXtra today. In this video, I am going to be unboxing and reviewing the G.I. Joe Classified Flint figure. If you've had your eye on this bad boy and are considering picking it up, then by the end of this video, you should have a better sense as to whether it's the figure for you, because knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe! Yes, hi there folks, I'm Chris from MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and as I said in the intro there, it's going to be all about G.I. Joe Classified Flint today. I don't think in recent years there has quite been a range of action figures that I have fallen head over heels in love with, but I really am completely enamoured with Hasbro's G.I. Joe Classified range. I'm new to the line, I'm only just kind of playing catch up, so I'm diving back into the kind of archival releases from earlier in the year, picking them up, and what I've generally done is kind of focused my collection on picking up figures that I owned when I was a child in the 80s, and I definitely had an Action Force Flint when I was a kid. I did say, if you've been watching some of my other reviews, I did say that I was going to focus my collection on picking up the Cobra figures because I just have a soft spot for the villains, you know, but as time has gone on and I've been having a whale of a time sort of posing them up and taking photos and playing with them, and my son's been getting involved and we've been, you know, having a good old lark with the G.I. Joe figures, I just felt like I needed to start getting some good guys now. I need someone for these villains to fight. So inevitably, I ended up picking up a good guy, and it had to be Flint to begin with because he is one of my faves from back in the day. I remember fondly playing in the garden with my younger brother and taking my Flint figure out and pulling up grass out the ground and burying him under the grass and hiding him. I don't know why I have such a vivid memory of such a strange kind of piece of play activity, but there you go. So in this video, I'm going to move to the overhead camera in a moment, unbox it, and just sort of talk about the packaging and kind of my first impressions, my first gut instinct impressions as he comes out the blister pack. And then I'll move to my little light box setup and take a closer look at the figure, which I'll do in a couple of days' time after I've been playing around and enjoying him. So, as I said, by the end of this video, if you've been thinking about picking this up, hopefully you'll have a better steer as to whether this is the figure for you. So, yeah, let's jump over to the overhead camera in 3, 2, 1. Yo, Joe! Alright, here's Flint in the packaging then. Looking ready for action. Stood to attention there on the front cover. The standard kind of G.I. Joe Classified look and feel of the box with the window on the front. Got a little show and tell of his cheeky accessories. On the back, we've got the, this has been on the back of many of the packages, actually, this kind of big 80s action movie style poster scene with all the characters. I'm pretty sure, I'll have to double check, but they've kind of been building on that and growing and adding more characters as we go along. Everyone keeps talking about the Alley Vipers at the top there. Some more Flint action shots on the side, and then we've got the data card with all the skills and talents that you can look up on the internet, and he is the 26th figure in the range. Right, going in from the bottom like usual. Okay, get my fingers in there. Out you come, Flint. Oh, there we go. Ooh, paperwork. Ooh, once again, I am 100%. I love these little backing cards. I like that you can slide them out. I like keeping those and using them for the backgrounds of some of the photos that I take, so I'll be keeping that. Right, in the blister pack, we've got, ooh, little fetching beret there. I hope that fits on his head all right. We've got his pump action shotgun. Nice little bit of detail on that, actually. His little snub-nosed pistol. Pew, 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 pew. And then the figure himself. Ugh. Oh, I hate that noise. Ugh. Ugh. And there we go. There's Flint and all his gear. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Right, well, here's Flint all unboxed, out the packet, standing up, ready to go, stepping forward into action, obviously volunteering, first volunteer to get into the troop carrier and make his way into battle. The first Joe, the first good guy in my collection, but of course it would have to be Flint because folks, knowing is half the battle. And yeah, just a really great looking figure. He just immediately, just looking at him, just stood there in terms of what kind of shelf presence or posability he has. If you're displaying him or popping him in a diorama or taking action figure photos with him, brilliant. But also lots of great fun as a play experience too. My son's been enjoying spending time with Flint. So yeah, let's dive into the figure in a bit more detail, shall we, and take a look at some of the finer nitty-gritty bits. Now then, the thing that immediately caught my attention with Flint, and I came to notice it more and more and more as I was trying to pose him up and do things with him, is this big, bulky bit of body armor that he's wearing here. Now, it looks great. Got this this nice, lovely detailing here on the shells across the front. It's got his little shoulder communicator here with the little blue bit to give it a splash of colour. The contrast of the green on the black, which matches the rest of his kind of image. It's got the shotgun holster on the back here and all these kind of straps and bits of detail. So it looks great. All these little ammo pouches and things. But it definitely restricts his movement in the centre here. Your ab crunch and your hip movement are definitely hugely restricted by the body armor on him there. So that's definitely something to bear in mind if you're trying to take some photos or pose him up in a diorama in a very specific way. That's bothered me less because I use my figures, once I've played with them a bit, I use them as shelf pieces in the vast majority of instances, but I could see how that would definitely be a bit of a frustration for some collectors. That aside, though, he is a hugely articulated figure. Usual G.I. Joe classified standard. Loads of movement in the arms and shoulders. Tons of movement in the head. Side to side, up and down. Lots of movement there. Hands. He's got again with the G.I. Joe figures. The right hand's got the extra wrist movement. But not on the left hand. I've noticed that with a few of them. Leg movement as well. Knees. He's a bit stiff out the packet. Is my Flint, but all the way back there, he's got ankles, calves. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that there, folks, but I've got a bit of a shaky joint on the calf here. I don't know if others have experienced that, but that's something I've experienced. But he definitely, with very little effort, you can get Flint standing firm, ready for action. He's a really solid, independent stander, I've noticed. If I take my hands away there, compared to some other figures that I've had in the past. So, yeah, there you go. He's got more detail here. Notice the wristwatch, all the extra bits of detail across this belt. He has got this pistol holster on his thigh there. It's a floating one. It's loose. I found it a little bit annoying, if being honest. You have to sort of pull it down to keep it tight across the thigh, but just a minor niggle. The face on the guy looks tremendous. I mean, he's got his little raised eyebrow there. He's got the scar over his left eye. Little tiny bit of a smirk down here, which I like. Gives him a little character, a little personality. The cheekbones, the chin, the shape of the face, the way he's got his hair, military grade buzz cut at the side, but with a little bit of length at the top, which also obviously helps. I'll talk about this more in a second, but helps keep his beret in place. But yeah, the face on the guy and the level of detail on that front is absolutely outstanding. As far as accessories go, Flint's got a slightly more limited selection than some of the other figures in the G.I. Joe classified range. His beret that I mentioned before pops on and pops off there. Lovely firm fit on the top of the head. And it goes down, fits nicely with a little click, but doesn't look sort of oversized or ridiculous either. It's just about right, and is clearly very cartoon and comic book accurate in terms of his style, and a nice bit of detail there with the insignia on the front. So there's his little beret cap thing. He's also got his little snub nose pistol. I've got it just here in the thigh holster there, but he's got this little snub nose pistol. Fits in either of his hands. Both hands have got trigger fingers on them, so you can slip it in just like that. And he's got his little snub-nosed pistol here, ready for action, pretending he's, I don't know, a bit James Bondy, that, isn't it? But yeah, that's nice. I've been keeping that mostly in the holster, though, because the main event the main event when it comes to accessories is the shotgun here. Again, got a little storage holster for it on his back. It slides out like this, and because both hands are trigger hands, fits in there. Although I have to confess, the fact that both hands are gun-wielding hands is a bit of an annoyance, because I want him to be able to kind of wrap his other hand around the pump action motion here, and you can't, which is a little annoying. I've been trying to pose him up in some pictures, and it always looks like he's just kind of oddly resting it on the on the end of his finger and thumb there, which is not ideal. Speaking of the shotgun, he's got a lovely bit of detail there with the shells and the brown on the pump action, and then here's a nice little twist. You can drop it and place it sort of at a right angle, so you can make it look like he's reloading, ready for more action. Let's turn him that way so you can see the reload better. So that's an interesting little twist, although one thing I have noticed is that that's given the shotgun a little bit of bend and wobble there where the join is, but that's negligible, really. I suppose it depends what you're doing, but on the shelf you wouldn't really notice that. Yeah, my main thing about the shotgun is that the second hand can't, you can't put him in sort of full pump action reload. It looks like he's doing it with his finger and thumb like that. I'll not go on to talk about what I think that looks like. So put that back in the holster there. So yeah, I might have liked some interchangeable hands. The other thing you'll notice, I think I've mentioned this already actually, is that this hand here doesn't have the wrist articulation, whereas this hand does. So Flint clearly favours his right hand. As is often the case with action figure reviews, it all boils down to what you're looking for from your action figure experience. And Flint certainly ticks an awful lot of boxes. If you're out in the market looking for a figure that's a good, staunch, rock-solid looking soldier boy kind of dude, then Flint's clearly a man. I mean, look at him. He's clearly a military fella, ready for action, and he's got all the kind of key hallmarks of a soldier boy looking figure. So tick, yeah, absolutely. If that's what you're looking for, you got it there with Flint. If you are an 80s nostalgia G.I. Joe fan like I am, then this guy's great also. I mean, there's clearly, even though he's got the kind of new Hasbro G.I. Joe classifiedization, if that's even a word, of the figure and sort of modernised, there's no mistaking on the this is Flint. He's got all the kind of key sort of tropes and aesthetic of Flint. You know who you're looking at there, and he's one of the kind of key good guys from the cartoon era. So if that's what you're after, then yeah, tick for sure. If you're a diorama photographer type individual, then Flint's also great. I mean, the G.I. Joe classified range in general is superb in terms of articulation and posability and detail and accuracy, and Flint is just yet another example of that. What we've come to expect from the G.I. Joe classified range, and it's what we're getting with this figure. And just the nice little touches, he's the camouflage detail on the legs, the texture, the belts and the holsters and the shells and the colours work, the black and green colour scheme with the brown and red to frame it up. It's all, so if you're looking for something to take good looking photos and pose him up in battle with some Cobra dudes or whatever, then tick. Again, you're getting exactly what you want. And finally, if you're into playing with your figures, like me, if you get them out and you've got a youngster in the family who enjoys playing with his daddy, then Flint is another great choice also. He's got lots of fun, lots of options, and we've had a good laugh with him. And then when we're finished up, he looks great on the shelf with all my other G.I. Joe classified figures. So overall, very happy. If there was one real criticism, I mean, there's a few kind of minor annoyances, like this holster has been doing me head in when I've been trying to take some photos with him. It'd probably be that he just perhaps a little bit more in terms of the accessories. I feel like the G.I. Joe classified range is throwing more and more in, and he as one of the earlier figures is perhaps a little bit more limited, but I've got to say the accessories are really good. So I mean, look at that beret. It's a good fit. It doesn't look like it's oversized. It's firm. The shotgun and the pistol look great. So despite that minor complaint, I'm still getting a lot from my figure. So yeah, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, if you are a soldier, military action figure fan, if you're looking for play photography, dioramas, shelf display, whatever, Flint ticks all your boxes. And I've been, once again, very, very happy with what the G.I. Joe Classified range has given me with this figure. So if you are looking for those things, then this is the guy for you. Excellent, there you go. So that concludes my Flint review. If you've enjoyed what I've had to say today and you like my perspective, then please do make an effort to subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up down below. It takes just a minute for you, but it means so much for me and it helps me know and understand that I'm going in the right direction with my content. Otherwise, I've been Chris from MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and I'll see you around these parts with another review sometime soon. Thanks for watching.